Coming up on show 667, the Tesla Model Y has started to appear in the VIN registration databases. Another good sign for those Model Y customers. Plus, we're talking about Hyundai and Kia putting a huge investment into a UK delivery startup with EVs. A next-gen home charger, the Chevy Bolt, gets cheaper, and a car and home charging bundle. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the show, EV News Daily, the edition for Wednesday, 15th of January. My name is Martyn Lee, going through every EV story that I can find, whittling down, because there's so much stuff going on, whittling down to the essential stories. And I know that you're busy, so I try and save your time, your little commute, your dog walk, your gym visit, whatever you're doing. When you listen to this podcast, what you need to know about the day's EV news. Thank you as always to myev.com. It's the one thing that you should have set as a bookmark, as a favourite, so you can check in if you're buying or selling or learning about EVs in the US. Check out myev.com, myev.com. Well, I mentioned it at the start of the show, and the Tesla Model Y is now being listed as a model on NHTSA's, the NHTSA, NHTSA's manufacturer page for Tesla. Model Y VINs are being decoded by those online using the official NHTSA decoder, and that's all according to an electrek article I picked up when I started to write the show today, and it just struck me as another little piece of the jigsaw. We've seen the Model Y in even more spy shots, often out in convoy with other Teslas. There's been Model Ys seen with Model X's and S's, and it's interesting to look at the size, the height, the width. Got to be honest, it looks like a really, really ideal shape for families. I don't think there's anything wrong with the Model 3 personally. It's like big enough. It's got the boot, and it hasn't got the hatch. But with the Model Y, lots of people, they want that power. They want the power boot. They want the power hatch at the back. They want a little bit higher. And I got to admit, child seat and stuff like that. Yeah, I can kind of see not having to bend down. And like I say, I don't get what's wrong with the Model 3, but people do go loopy over that kind of SUV crossover style, and so it's going to be a big seller for Tesla. The TMC forum user wreese has been checking daily, and that was the first report of a Model Y VIN being registered with NHTSA. The Model Y VINs can now be decoded, and it looks like it's the performance models being registered. We know the performance ones are going to be the Founders series as well. So another little piece of the jigsaw to say that they're going to be coming soon. Not for everyone, just for the first few hand-built customers, as I mentioned on yesterday's show, but soon. That time has definitely moved forward. From Tasmanian's website, one key aspect of the Model Y ramp, they say, that could play into Tesla's favour is the company's experience with Model 3. Well, the Model Y and the Model 3, says Tasmanian, share 75% of their components, so the production process of the two vehicles will likely be similar as well. And I did mention on yesterday's show as well, I'd read a couple of contradictory articles to what I've just reported there from people that they say they've got knowledge of the matter, and actually the Model 3 and the Model Y started off as sharing a ton of components, and actually they've kind of diverged a little bit. Not a huge amount, but Model Y has taken on a bit more of a life of its own, which would go against this, but we'll keep on digging into this story. Tesla's announced the Model Y originally with a late 2020 release date, and that was conservative apparently, because now it's moved up to summer. Numerous release candidates are being spotted on the roads, VINs are being registered, and Tesla seems to be trying to get the Model Y out to the market even sooner to hit their deliveries, their goals, their financials, if you like, sometime in quarter 2, in other words, before the end of June. Fortunately for the Model Y, the Model 3 process has been well and truly refined. We know the challenges and the difficulties. Production hell is what Elon called it. We know they've just been through that process of building another factory in China, Gigafactory 3, and spent the last year with very, very intelligent teams working out, okay, we're starting with a blank sheet of paper, how we're going to make a car. And we know that they've said that the processes they're doing in China are the best they've ever done. And so all of that learning just feeds in to how they're going to make the Model Y. Obviously at Fremont, some space restrictions. They are making other cars there as well, but it's all looking very good. Now, let's move on to the Korean auto giants, Hyundai and Kia. And they've just put $110 million into a UK startup. They're called Arrival. and it's emerged from relative stealth today. The investment immediately makes a rival, one of Britain's most valuable startups, valuing it at about €3 billion. According to TechCrunch, their idea is to make EVs at a similar cost to fossil fuel cars, but drastically cut costs by using what they're calling microfactories. The microfactories are going to be close to major cities for manufacturing. The modular skateboard platform, newbies to the podcast, when I talk about skate, if you're learning about EVs, by the way, I always try and decode some of the things that I talk about that other people who've been listening longer would know what we're talking about. Skateboard design just means that it's built from the ground up as an EV. So it's got a flat battery pack, completely flat floor underneath. All the batteries live under the main body, and the four wheels, suspension, brakes, all that kind of stuff are on each corner. In other words, we call it the skateboard design because all of the batteries, they're not being wedged in and like retrofitted to an existing car, starting from scratch. That platform will allow a range of models to be built on one system, and they're going to use their prototypes that they're already participating in trials with big global companies as well. So congratulations to the team at Arrival. They've been working with the likes of DHL, UPS, the Royal Mail, and the Koreans, making a big investment into that company. Funny how a lot of big automakers are having to get their checkbook out. Ford did it with Rivian as well. I'm not saying they've been caught with their trousers down, but I wonder if some people in those companies could be thinking, we could have been doing this ourselves, but instead had to go out to the market and buy what is available, or invest in what is available to try and catch up. Right. Let's talk about charging at home, which is, let's face it, when you have a conversation with someone about EVs, if they're not into EVs and stuff, and they presume they might have to replicate the same thing of going out to get fuel like you do with petrol and diesel, no, always tell them, look, you charge at home. Out-of-home charging is an issue for those in flats, apartments, and those places that haven't got somewhere to park at home, but otherwise, for those that can charge at home, out-of-home charging is all about, firstly, topping up if your car's going to be somewhere for a few hours, cinema, bowling, shopping, and road trips. And then when you do the big road trips, you want the nice fast chargers and at a sensible cost as well. But apart from that, you're going to be charging at home. And you want to get the best charger you can. If you got a Tesla, you might want to be buying their new one. A third-generation wall connector has been released by Tesla. New Wi-Fi connectivity. Going to get over-the-air updates just like the cars. It's got a slightly shorter cord length. It's got a tempered white glass faceplate. Looks very much like a little mini Powerwall, actually. According to electrek, Tesla has added the new Gen 3 wall connector to the company's online store. In the US so far, just checked before I came to record today, and in the US Tesla shop, is it called a shop? A store. Shop. I think it calls it shop on the top right of the menu on the homepage. And it was very much the old one still for sale in the UK. But in the US, I had a look. Yes, it is available. Model S, Model X, Model 3 can all charge, of course, on that. The new wall box is going to be a more convenient home charging experience with its mobile app monitoring and notifications and updating itself over your home Wi-Fi. Having a look at the Tesla site now, I'll just read you what it says. Charge at home anytime. Tesla wall connector provides a full charge overnight for every homeowner. With customized power settings, the lightweight design allows for versatile indoor-outdoor use, including a range of electrical systems and mounting options. Monitor your charge with the Tesla app and receive notifications when complete. Wi-Fi connectivity enables over-the-air firmware updates and remote service if necessary. Tesla Wall Connector offers the best home charging experience for any Tesla owner, in the words of the company that's making it. Okay, let's move on. And according to a recent report by Cars Direct, GM sent a bulletin to Bay Area dealers stating that the 2020 Chevrolet Bolt EV is eligible for more than $10,000 in leasing incentives. Well, that pushes the car's lease price to less than $200 a month in select locations, says Inside EVs. And the Chevrolet Bolt is a car that I know, I'm very aware, I don't talk about on the podcast as much as I could do. The owners that I know that own Bolts all love the car, very highly rated. Maybe hasn't been given the love by GM that it should have done and updated with more features, but still very relevant. Kind of goes below the radar a little bit, if you know what I mean. Well, the Bay Area lease deal on the 2020 Chevrolet Bolt LT. Shows up as $169 over 3 years. $169 over 3 years, 36 months, with $2,219 due at signing. $12,000 a year, 12,000 miles a year allowed, and the deal is based on a Bolt that has an MSRP of $37,500. That factors in some incentives though. So, factors in $7,250 for qualifying buyers nationwide, though local buyers are eligible for more, an additional $1,400 off the current Bolts, and current Volt owners as well get another $1,500 discount. So a few things being factored in there, but $169 a month over 3 years, a couple of grand down. For some people that would do. Long-time listeners of the podcast hear me say all the time, it's really boring. I don't recommend anybody gets finance to buy a car, because a car is ultimately, for most of us, a luxury. A lot of people with EVs, I must say, just to contradict myself, many people with EVs do feel that they're such high tech, they don't want to actually own it. So they look at it as I'm not buying it. This is like a long-term rental, and that this is my monthly cost. Anyway, there you go. I always add that in as a caveat, in case people think I'm recommending lease deals. Not at all. But it's an interesting price, in the Bay Area for a great car for the little Bolts. Right, let's talk about getting a car and getting a home charger and getting an electricity tariff all in one bundle. Now, I like this idea because for many people who aren't super nerdy, and some people are, but who don't want to go through loads of research, just like, what's a really great deal that I could get that's going to sort it all out for me? Now, in the UK, there is one that just hit the market. Octopus Electric Vehicles and EO Charging have launched an all-in-one EV home charging bundle to get consumers taking advantage of the EV revolution at big discounted rates. The EO Mini is a smart home small charger, and it really is a tiny little box, barely bigger than the actual socket. They say it's the world's smallest charger. Well, at least that's what Charlie told me when he appeared on this podcast. Well, sometime last year, wasn't it? He's the guy behind the company. Fascinating person to talk to. If you want to listen to that show, search in the search box of my blog, EV News Daily, EO Charging or Charlie Jardine. Whilst you're there, you might also want to search for Octopus Electric Vehicles and Fiona Howarth, someone else who's appeared as a guest on this podcast. Well, Octopus Electric Vehicles, in conjunction with Octopus Energy, they offer the energy tariff, which is called Octopus Go. Many EVs are sold kind of in a silo, if you like. When we bought our very first EV, we'd actually signed the paperwork and paid for it. And the dealer went, "Oh, how are you going to charge it, by the way?" Luckily, we were fine. But can you imagine if I was like a non-EV nerd? That was frustrating. Anyway, if you want to get the whole deal, a car, a charger, an electricity tariff at home to move on to as well, this is what it's all about. The charger is tiny. It's an amazing little bit of technology from EO. And you can get that. And you can lease a Nissan Leaf from Octopus as well, 8,000 miles a year, £271 for the lease cost of that. And you go on to the electricity tariff as well, that you can charge from just a penny a mile on Octopus Go. And limited time, they say, so if that sounds like it's up your street, well, there you go. Have a little look into that. Question of the week this week, set by myev.com. Let me know your thoughts on this question, and I'll read them out on Sunday's show. Which car company would you like to see doing more to embrace electrification, and why? Which car company would you like to see doing more to embrace electrification, and why? Email hello@evnewsdaily.com or leave a comment on YouTube and on socials. Well, thank you to 228 patrons of this podcast. My premium partners are Phil Roberts of Electric Future, Brad Crosby, Avid Technology, fourth name to add to the list soon when I get myself organised. Holy moly. I must do that. And it's going to be amazing to have another premium partner supporting. It's amazing to have anyone even support this show, which you can do at patreon.com/evnewsdaily. That's patreon.com/evnewsdaily. There are 666 previous shows in the archive. If you're doing it on Apple Podcasts and you get a chance to leave a little rating and review whilst you're listening, it helps other people discover the show. In the meantime, say hi on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, searching EV News Daily. Have a wonderful day. I'll catch you soon. And remember, there is no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.